In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, where the horizon seems endless and the waves whisper ancient secrets, a tragedy unfolded. It was a tale so harrowing, so unimaginable, that it would later inspire one of the greatest works of literature, Moby-Dick. This is the true story of the whale ship Essex. Our story begins in Nantucket, Massachusetts, in the year 1819. Nantucket was the heart of the American whaling industry, a bustling hub where young men sought fortune and adventure. Among them was the crew of the Essex, a 238-ton whaling ship captained by George Pollard Jr, with Owen Chase as his first mate. The Essex, though small and aging, had a seasoned crew of 21 men ready to embark on a 2.5-year journey to hunt the giants of the deep, sperm whales. On August 12, 1819, the Essex set sail, leaving behind loved ones and the safety of shore. The crew was optimistic, but the sea is a fickle mistress. Barely a week into their voyage, the Essex faced its first trial. A powerful storm battered the ship, nearly capsizing it. The masts were damaged and the crew was shaken. Yet they pressed on, believing their misfortune was behind them. Little did they know the true nightmare was yet to come. For over a year, the Essex sailed the Pacific, hunting sperm whales. The crew endured grueling work, long stretches of monotony, and the ever-present danger of the sea. By November 1820, they found themselves 1,200 nautical miles west of the Galapagos Islands, far from rescue. It was here that their fate was sealed. On November 20th, the lookout spotted a pod of sperm whales. The crew launched their small whaleboats and gave chase, but as they pursued their prey, an extraordinary event occurred. An 85-foot bull whale, larger than any they had ever seen, charged the Essex. The massive creature struck the Essex with terrifying force, shaking the ship to its core. The crew watched in horror as the whale turned, swam a short distance, and charged again. The second blow was fatal. The Essex began to sink. The crew scrambled into their small whaleboats, taking what supplies they could. With only 3 fragile boats, a few navigational tools, and meagre provisions, they were left adrift in one of the most remote parts of the Pacific Ocean. The days turned into weeks. The men rationed their supplies of hardtack and water, but starvation and dehydration began to take their toll. Desperation set in as they drifted aimlessly, hoping to find land or a passing ship. One by one, men began to die. Their bodies were committed to the sea, but as their supplies dwindled, the survivors faced an unthinkable choice. They turned to cannibalism, consuming the bodies of their deceased crewmates to stay alive. A violent storm separated the 3 boats, scattering the crew across the endless ocean. 2 of the boats, including Captain Pollard's, managed to stay afloat, though the men grew weaker by the day. Owen Chase, ever the diligent first mate, kept a journal. His harrowing account of starvation, despair, and survival would later become the primary source of this tragic tale. After 95 days adrift, Chase's boat was finally spotted by a passing ship, the Indian. Only 5 men from his crew survived. Days later, Captain Pollard's boat was also rescued. By then, they were reduced to the most desperate measures, drawing lots to determine who would be sacrificed to feed the others. The survivors returned to Nantucket as changed men. Their ordeal shocked the whaling community and left an indelible mark on maritime history. Captain Pollard attempted another voyage, but was shipwrecked again, earning him the nickname the Jonah of Nantucket. He lived out his days as a night watchman. Owen Chase, haunted by the ordeal, struggled with mental health issues for the rest of his life. Years later, a young writer named Herman Melville heard of the Essex's fate from one of its survivors. Inspired by their story, he penned Moby-Dick, immortalizing the tragedy of the Essex and its doomed encounter with the whale. The story of the Essex is a testament to the fragility of human life and the unpredictable power of nature. It reminds us of the cost of ambition and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable horror. Subscribe to Darklight Codex for more tales of the extraordinary.